Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time around here, welcome. My name is Emma. Make sure that you are subscribed. I would love to have you here and join the growing crew. So yeah, let's get into this video. So I have been dying to make this video and share this information with y'all. It may be new to some of you, it may be old news to some of you as well, but I thought I'd share this with you all. So for those of you who have been around my channel for a while, you know that I talked about making plans to continue my education and getting my bachelor's degree in nursing. And in the midst of doing research, I fell into a rabbit hole of this specific topic that I have never heard about. So I was just looking into other alternatives when it comes to just obtaining my BSN. Excuse me if the light keeps going in and out. The clouds are just covering the sun right now. So while doing some research for school, I came across this petition. And it was a petition to allow LPNs to challenge the NCLEX-RN. When I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, what? I can actually challenge the NCLEX-RN? The petition was on change.org. And the title literally read, allow LPNs to challenge the Board of Nursing to obtain RN license. This petition was started in October of 2017. As of now, it's got about 132,000 and some change signatures. And the goal is to reach 150,000 signatures on that petition. It says why this petition matters. The LPN position in this country is grossly underestimated. Experienced LPNs are functioning at or above the same level as new graduate ADN RNs. Experienced LPNs should be able to challenge the Board of Nursing to sit for the NCLEX-RN, and if possible to pass, should be granted an RN license. With this country's nursing shortage, the U.S. is importing nurses when we have competent nurses already licensed that are more than capable of performing at an RN level. So I started to read on some of the comments. A lot of them were LPNs. And, some were saying, I train LPN to RN in a bridge program, and they do have enough experience to qualify as an ADN RN. In a long-term care, LPNs or RNs have the same role. Working with both, I would rather have an experienced LPN than a new RN any day. They typically have more hands-on experience and have better clinical skills. It would benefit many to allow LPNs to take the NCLEX-RN exam and fill the needs for nurses. A win is a win. Another one says, I'm an RN and the LPNs work alongside me doing the same work for less pay. It's ridiculous. And somebody else said, as an LPN with 17 years of experience, I feel that I would be able to pass the RN NCLEX based on my experience and knowledge. Also, LPNs are grossly underestimated in our knowledge base and our skills in this country. Many LPNs do the same work that many RNs in the facilities across the country. We pick up the slack, and not only are we treated like we don't know what we are doing, but we are underpaid for the amount of work that we do. As I always do, I dig in and do some more research about it. So far in the United States, there are about 5 states that actually do allow LPNs to challenge the NCLEX-RN. And those states are Florida, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Missouri, and Hawaii. Some of them do have different requirements, such as number of years of experience, number of hours worked, and they also want acknowledgement from your previous or current supervisor or manager acknowledging that you've worked for a said company for the amount of years that they're required. So it's a thing. And I cannot believe that I have been living under a rock. Did you guys know about this? I had no clue, y'all. This opportunity could change the lives of so many nurses across the country. I just don't know why other states are taking so long. First of all, I just want to say, I think this is an amazing opportunity if the parameters are right, because I do have some concerns about this, but I'm also optimistic about all of this. So as some of the nurses in that petition stated, so many LPNs out there who have many years under their belts, who have many clinical skills, they're gifted, they're talented, and they've been practicing for so long, but maybe they just don't have the time and the capacity, or they just don't have the resources or the money to go back to school and start over. So I agree with a lot of these nurses. All they need is this one opportunity to challenge the NCLEX. This is my third year of being an LPN. I've always had a plan to go back to school eventually. But since graduating in 2020, I started working right away. And then I got married and had a child. It's been just a lot of logistics behind it. The timing, saving up for school, and just what that looks like now with my life. That being said, this petition could be a life changer, okay? If a lot of us LPNs did not have to cut our hours short at work, when you go back to school, we all know it's full-time, usually Monday through Friday, and then you've also got clinicals, long clinical hours that are basically like working for free, but not everyone has the time capacity to dedicate that much to work, to school. Of course, it's a sacrifice that has to be done. Many people have done it. I acknowledge that. In terms of finances, it would save me a great amount of money. As a matter of fact, I would much rather pay for a tutor to get prepared to challenge the NCLEX than have to spend money on prerequisites classes, to repeat prerequisite classes that I've already taken, and to go through the whole nursing program again. Now, I just want to say that I'm not negating all the hard work that you put in for your BSN degree. I am not discredited all the hard work that's been put towards the RN degrees for those of you who have your ASN degree. I am not discrediting all of that. By all means, nursing school is very hard. It's very challenging. But I am just speaking in a sense that if there is an opportunity out there for nurses to advance in their careers, why not just present to them other options? We all know the NCLEX is not easy. It's hard. All of us nurses know that it's not going to be an easy test. Everyone will have to work their hardest to prepare for it, for anyone who's interested in challenging the NCLEX-RN. Okay, so let me just put it out there. Let's talk about the obvious pro about this. So we all know that LPNs out there make considerably less money than RNs do, right? We can say, okay, well, it's a level of education, blah, 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 blah. But when we're talking about LPNs who do the same work, if not more than RNs, when we talk about LPNs who have been in management positions, LPNs who just have incredible clinical skills and still are not being compensated fairly for it, that's an issue. That's an issue because at the end of the day, their employer's like, okay, well, we see that you do all this, but you're still an LPN. We're going to pay you as we see fit. If an LPN was able to pass this NCLEX exam, it would put them at an advantage to earn more. A second pro is that it is time saving. The time that it takes to save money and potentially repeat science courses like I do, science prerequisites like I do. The time that it takes to find a school, and sometimes you get rejected. You don't always get accepted into that bridge program, and then you've got to wait. Effort that it takes to now, have to rearrange your life. If you're married, if you've got kids, if you've got other life priorities, and now you have to rearrange your life. It's just time saving. And the cost. It's going to cost us a lot less money if all we have to do is just focus on this exam to pass. We may spend money on, studying material, but at least we're not spending hundreds, if not thousands, trying to go back to school to essentially learn the same things that we've already learned in LPN school. So those are some of the pros. So let's talk about some of the cons. And I think some of these cons can also spill into the concerns that I have. The first con is that, of course, not all 50 states allow this. Second con is for the states who do allow LPNs to challenge the NCLEX-RN. For the state of Georgia, for example, only LPNs who attended a non-traditional LPN school are able to sit and challenge the NCLEX-RN. And also they have to, practice for a certain amount of years and achieve a certain amount of hours working on the field in the field. So why is this just for LPNs who have graduated from non-traditional schools? What about regular schools? What about traditional schools? Another con is that if you're an LPN and you take this exam and you pass it and you become an RN, on paper it says that you're now an RN, but when it comes to a lot of these companies, they still want to know that you have that BSN or you have the school education to back up this license that you've got. So what does that mean? Does it mean that now states are going to have to start considering changing the system, changing these job applications to make sure that they're not always asking for education history? What does that really mean? What does it also mean if you do want to obtain the bachelor's portion of it? Okay, because once you pass that challenge exam, you're going to be considered a registered nurse, but you're still not a bachelor's prepared nurse. What does that look like? What does it mean in terms of going back to school? Would we be able to go back to school and get that and do those few courses to get our bachelor's, or does it not count towards going back to school? What are the speculations? What are the parameters about this whole thing? What is the future when it comes to getting a raise, a bump up in pay? Would employers be more likely or more willing to pay more? Because technically, if my license no longer says LPN, now it says RN, are you going to match that now that I've passed this test? Or do you still want me to be a BSN prepared nurse? I do understand that there are many, many companies who do hire just RN nurses, just ASN nurses, but there are many positions who require BSN prepared nurses. So what does that all look like? There are so many questions to this whole thing, but it's also exciting. It's a good conversation to have. What do y'all think? Because I don't have bedside experience, but baby, I will. I don't have the bedside experience because my calling is not at the bedside, but it will be if this is actually a thing for my state. So let's talk about it in the comments. What do you guys think about this opportunity if all 50 states were to allow this? Also, do you currently live in one of the states that I mentioned? I think it was Florida, Georgia, Missouri, Pennsylvania, and Hawaii. If you live in one of those states, do you know someone who's done this? Have you heard about it? What are your thoughts and your opinions on this whole matter? Let's talk about it. If you're in nursing school too, let's talk about it. Would you actually be open to challenging the NCLEX-RN if your state was allowing it? Let me know in the comments, because if there's a clear answer to the questions or concerns that I have, I would definitely be up for it. But if I'm shooting myself in the foot by studying and paying for this exam just for me to be cornered or limited when it comes to the kind of jobs that I land, then there really is no purpose to it. But if this has a promising future to it, why not? Why not? If there is truly a shortage of nurses out there, why not give this opportunity to LPNs who have been practicing for so many years, but just haven't had an opportunity in life to advance their careers? What if we could be those nurses to fill in the gap? There are nurses who are leaving the field every day. There are nurses who are retiring every day. And I talked about this in the live that I did a few months ago. It's like, why is the United States crying that we are at a shortage of nurses and sourcing out nurses from other countries when you could be doing something in-house to remedy that whole issue? Common sense is common sense. But anyways, that is all I got. Let's chat it up in the comment section. Until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. Bye.